part of the hive mind with birdie stories to unfold. Common sense is a superpower cutting through the noise. Unlocking closed minds, amplifying all our voices.
Phoenix, Phoenix, what do you see? Unlocking knowledge for you and me. The nest is rising strong and true. Sharing wisdom, me and you. Clap, clap, clap for the truth we seek. Every answer, week by week. Phoenix, Phoenix, what do you see? Unlocking knowledge for you and me. The nest is rising strong and true. Sharing wisdom, me and you. Clap, clap, clap for the truth we seek. Every answer, week by week.
All right. Good morning, all you nesters. Are you ready for this? Today is finally Thursday. Whoop, whoop. One more day till it's TGIF Friday. So let's get this one started because I have really honestly never really talked about this, but maybe a few times. And this is such an important topic. So make sure that you are here, present, ready to go. Get the live dig document ready because that document is going to help in this process. We are going to review some witness statements and we are going to show you how I dropped my pen. So how are you? How are you, nesters? Let's go ahead and welcome you in right here. Hopefully you guys can hear me pretty well this morning. And make sure you leave some DNA on that button. That thumbs up button. Hey, Amanda. Good morning. Good morning, nesters. Hey, Jane. Welcome in. Hey, Dina. OG in the house. Misinformation. Please all hit the like. Yes. Hello. Good morning. Hi, friends. Hi, Kimberly. Hey, Holly Berry. Amanda. Saying hello to other nesters. Did you guys watch Birdie last night? Did you see what happened on Birdie? Hey, good morning, Macy. Marcy, I apologize. Good morning. Let's get the show on the road. 100 degrees. Woo, that's hot. Hot to trot. Yes, yes. Okay, so you guys did watch Birdie. Did that help you put the timeline together or what? That was an amazing live. Every time we jump on, there's always something really good to talk about. I'll tell you, that was impressive. Good morning from Michigan, says Marissa. Good morning, Marissa. Let me get that pretty bird down and let's get the move on here because, boy, do we have a lot to talk about. And where did my picture go? Let me see. Let me see if that'll load real quick for me. Yep, there it is. All right, we're talking. Let me catch up here. You guys are like so good. Yes, yes, caught it. Okay, perfect. Yes, chat was interesting last night. Wasn't it, Teresa? Holy moly. Christina, welcome in. It was wild. I'm telling you. I say that for a few reasons because one, None of this is scripted. Bertie and I don't talk before shows. And if you don't know the backstory of Bertie and I, we actually started out on TikTok. And we came across each other and we were like, whoa, what? You know, hey, we've got a lot think alike, contrarian thinking. And that was really cool that we clicked like that. And we just started doing lives until people were like, we need to shut them up. So we became a little restrictive and we came over to YouTube. So I'm glad we made that switch. Good morning, everyone. Come into the nest. So when you look at what did we watch in the Idaho 4, the victims and the witnesses, I like to talk about facts because those facts you cannot deny. You just can't. So first of all, I'm going to say this is going to help you understand a little bit more about what happened in the Idaho 4. And when you look at this document, you're going to be like, I don't understand any of this, right? And this is the document that I'm speaking of. This is the court repository. And when you see the court repository, you're like, okay, that's just a bunch of documents, right? This is not just a bunch of documents, folks. This tells the story. This tells the hidden story, not just what we can see from reports, but this does tell more of a story. And when you put those pieces of the puzzle together, you can actually see the history of this story. So not only does it start in Latah County in 2022, you can see the progression. So obviously we all know about the PCR. This is redacted. This criminal complaint actually started it all because that's typically how the law works, the justice system works. This person was charged and they say that this guy is the person of interest, the suspect, and we are going to take him to court and we are going to prove his guilt because they have enough information, they have enough evidence, and they say this guy's guilty. Okay, so that's great. Then they start off with the arrest warrant, and you can go ahead and see that. No bail, yada, yada, yada. And then so forth. And so then we have the PCA, right? We've got all these documents that are legal documents. And then the order to preserve the crime scene. Well, yeah, they preserved the crime scene and then they decided to knock it down. But they only put that the crime scene will remain preserved until February 2023, which is really wild, okay? Because that crime scene should have been preserved for a jury trial to walk through and go through. So I'm not going to get into a lot of this per se on this live. What I am going to do is we are going right to the repository because I want to show you something because it's not until 2023. And let me just do a real quick find and victims. And this is what we see. Let me see if you guys can see this. Yeah, that's big enough. So you can just do a search real quick. And I usually go rights because you're going to see victims' rights. So you'll see a notification of rights, which was given to Kohberger. And we don't see much. You just don't see much. And this is an easy way to search. Really super quick. And so then in 2023, it wasn't until they start talking about grand jury witnesses. So this is the witness part we're getting into. So if you just joined live, welcome in. We're talking about the witness versus victims. And then we go and we're still in Latah County, guys, right? And we're looking for witnesses. So then they're talking about expert witness disclosure, defendant's witness list for a change of venue. This is when they say, okay, we want to go over to Ada County. All right, not a problem. And then you see a couple of other witnesses. Okay, that's fine. So you can go and you can see a lot that's actually unsealed until they begin unsealing the most important documents that we want to see. But the most important document that they have on this website right here, if you want to go to that website, is the current case summary. And when you open the current case summary, what you're looking for, again, is that keyword either witness or what's the other one? Rights. Okay. So just for this purpose, I'm going to use the word rights because that's the most powerful keyword that I'm using here. And let me see. Here it is. Okay. So where do I begin with victims? We can go witnesses. We know who the two surviving witnesses are, right? That is Bethany and Dylan. And we know for a fact because it says in the repository, it is both of them, right? Can we all agree to that one? Okay. So when you see, I don't know why it made that white line. When you see that, you know, obviously Bethany is a witness and Kaylee is a victim, and you do have, you know, the court say that Dylan Mortenstein is a victim and a witness. So when you bring that all into play, you're thinking, okay, why is it so important when you see what Kaylee's family has said about her being a victim and why Bethany is a witness in the police department statements, which we will talk about in a minute. And that's one of the ones I really want to get into because Dylan and Bethany kind of experienced two different things. Would you guys agree to that? Are you with me? So when you look at those two individuals, you want to know who's really telling the truth. Hey, come on in, Renee, OG. You want to know who's really telling the truth. What is the indicator that will tell us who's the victim and who's the witnesses? Because this is mind-blowing. All right. So back to the repository, and then I'm going to go grab a document that you will be able to see who's the witness and who's the victim. This is interesting. Okay. So let me just grab this document. Live on this topic. Okay, hold on. So I'm going back to the repository and the case summary because this is what you want to see. Hopefully everybody can see that case summary. Got it? So you do a search. This is a live dig, by the way. You do a search and you search for victims. And I am specifically talking about the victim's right notification form. We're going to do a deep dive, guys, so I hope you're ready. So I've already laid out the facts that Kaylee Goncalves is a victim. Maddie Mogan, Xana Kernoodle, Ethan Chapin. They were unalived in Moscow, Idaho. And I just want to put a disclaimer. This is a live dig. This is speculation and theory minus the facts and evidence. So we know that CK is Kara Kernoodle and her daughter is in fact Xana. Xana's mother got a victim statement. Okay. And let me tell a victim's right notification. And I've gone over this a few times, and I just want to let you know what is a victim's rights notification. Well, what are victims' rights? Okay. So you have to understand what does that even entail? It means that the court, and I'm going to specify exactly what it is in the court. The court victims' rights is a legal formal document, obviously court approved, that you are able to tell the courts, I'm a victim, or a relationship to the family is considered a victim. And in a victim, you're absolutely given certain rights into having the suspect in a court of law, when sentenced, pay the victims a certain amount of money, pay for care, it's kind of like giving another person the ability to remedy what an individual has done in the court of law. Let me just answer this real quick. Okay, so now that you understand, it's just basically a legal protection that guarantees individuals who suffered either financially, constitutionally. It's just a written law honored by the courts, okay? And they enforce it. So it also means that any one of those victims, family members, surviving family members, have the right to be notified to court hearings, plea agreements, sentencing a defendant, the accused individual. And they also get to give impact statements, which are huge, right? They get to speak at sentencing and parole hearings. In this case, he's taken a plea deal, life in prison with no parole, possibility of parole. And obviously, that's the word I was looking for, the right of restitution. They have the right to claim any medical bills, property damage, anything of that nature, okay? So this is huge for somebody who has had trauma during this time. They will pay for medical bills. If the court is approved, which typically in this type of murder case, absolutely, they should have approved therapy. Everyone should have went to therapy. And even Jack DeCour in the Moscow Police Department PD, their PDF that I have, the searchable ones, they even follow up with Jack DeCour and they ask him if he's gotten any type of counseling. Did you guys see that? I hope you saw that. And if not, I'll show you. So it also allows the victim, especially in Idaho, to have the right to privacy and protection. So that includes protections from harassment, intimidation, retaliation, and safeguards from the victim's dignity during the process. So when I see some shady stuff going on, I call it out because I know the rules of the victim's right in Idaho. As I've explained, I was a victim to a circumstance. And they took him to trial and they sentenced the defendant in my case, the accused, believe me, and they fined him. They paid us restitution for the damage, physical damage, chiropractor, all that stuff from the physical damage. Okay. So they have the right to protection. So yes, I had a protection order against this individual and it usually lasts 5 years in Idaho, but the judge can extend that if warranted. Now, when you see and also they have the right to refuse interviews. Victims can decline to speak with the defense outside of court. They can decline. They don't have to give a witness account. They don't have to, even if they know, they don't have to. It gives them the right to decline to speak with the defense. So if they didn't want to talk to Bill Thompson, they didn't have to talk to Bill Thompson. Okay. So in Idaho, victims' right notification form is formally recognized and received of these rights. So this is why it's so important to get this form approved by the court. If the court say, yes, you are indeed a victim. And this is why it's so important that I'm breaking this down for you so you understand. And this is what Phoenix sees. This is what I see. So CK is Xana's mom. That is her bio mom. The next individual that have rights, that's just having the word in it. You see that when Bryan Kohberger was arrested, that basically the invocation of rights, that's the Miranda right and the right to remain silent. That is what the invocation of rights is, just so you know. And then we see another document, victim's right notification form for DM. You guys see that at the bottom? I don't know if you can see me highlighting. Let me see if that works. Can you see that highlighting right there? That is the form for DM. So the court dictated that the surviving roommate, DM, is in fact a victim. She got victim's rights. And the victim's rights are what I stated above. Well, let's see who else got a victim's right form. KL and SL. That's Karen Laramie and Scott Laramie for Maddie Mogan, right? So they received those documents. And then we go down to the next one that says, who else got a victim's right form? Let's see. Okay, bingo. BM, Ben Mogan got one, and that was for Maddie because obviously Karen is divorced by Ben, and he got one too. And then you have victim's right for SC. Okay, so that has to be Stacy Chapin, right? Those are the immediate family members. And then you see the rights for J Chapin, okay? And then you see for Hunter and Maisie because they are all victims of this horrible crime. Okay, so they all have the same rights that if they wanted, they could have restitution, protection, all that other stuff by the court. But what you don't see is who? Help me out, guys. You don't see a victim form for Kaylee. Okay, why would you not see a victim's form for Kaylee? None of the families appear to have filed either a victim's right through the formal notification system yet, or it could be a personal legal decision. They're taking a different legal route. Hence, you see Steve G hiring an attorney. Or there could possibly a dispute, maybe a dispute with the prosecution on disagreement over the case's handling. And we've seen that play out. And the last but not least, it could be a clerical issue, but we know that ABC, your way out, that process of elimination is probably not that. Okay? And I'm going to hit a couple nails on the head. I like to do 2 birds with 1 stone. So the things that you're talking about in the chat, I see. And that is exactly why are people doing GoFundMes when the court services in this horrible crime and all this money that has been spent for prosecution, defense, yada, 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 they should be paying for therapy. I mean, in my case, they paid for my vehicle being smashed in, my medical bills from the personal physical attack of an individual against me and my husband. They paid for a lot of stuff. And that is because the courts have the funding in a victims fund, and you get an advocate that helps walk every step of the way to where you actually go into court and you're prepared to give a victim's impact statement. That has some weight on what the judge gives sentencing to a defendant. So in looking at these documents, these individuals have not been identified as a victim or witness legally. Legally. Okay? So I want you to understand that when victims are triggered, only when specific paperwork is filed, regardless of relationship to the victim, emotional involvement, or public visibility. Now, Steve is very vocal about the media, but still might not be legally registered as a victim, guys. Yeah, Murphy, right? That means there's no form, no standing in the court of law. And this creates a disconnect between what humans should feel to be automatic, because he's out there speaking on behalf of a victim, but he has no legal rights to be speaking on behalf of a victim, although he did go a different route. And the courts allowed them to speak at sentencing, which I find shocking. I mean, Olivia didn't get a victim's right. Maisie, Hunter, and Stacy and Jim did, right? This is where the story falls apart, guys. Maddie's mom and dad did, and they spoke. And I think that covers the families that we're talking about here. Those 3 specific families. I know there's a lot going on with that GoFundMe. I know. I'm being very respectful to all these individuals. I don't get in touch with any of them. I don't talk to any families, victims. I don't talk to any families to keep a unbiased approach and stick to the facts, the court facts, what the legal ramifications are. I am no legal expert, but I have learned a long time ago in my own legal experience, it's always best to stay unbiased. Let me just check this GoFundMe that everybody talks about. Let's just check where we're at. $102,000 raised. That is exactly what it says right there. $102,795 raised to date. Since everybody's talking about it in the chat, we'll just give it a moment. There's the moment. There's only been one update for the past couple of weeks. I'm really shocked by all that too. Crazy. Wild. And this is what she's saying it'll be used for. Right here. Our sweet Dylan, the eyewitness surviving roommate. And it's true, they do say she is a victim of this crime. She did survive. And so they are using it for relocation, intensive long-term therapy, and extra security and privacy measures. Well, relocation, I think the courts should allow her that as a victim to file for that reimbursement. Intensive long-term therapy and trauma, the court should pay for that. That's what taxpayers pay for. That funding is there. Extra security and privacy measures. Security maybe in regards to restraining orders, and we can talk about that. The judge did extend the no contact orders to 99 years. That's basically silencing all parties. And then privacy measures. Well, I mean, she's remained pretty private minus the partying and the posting on social media. So that's on her. And I'm just calling it out as it is. That's my humble opinion. Okay. So when we start talking about who's a victim, who's a witness, let's get into these police reports. Hold on, wrong one. Let's get into these police reports because, yeah, this is pretty interesting. So let's look at this. Bingo. Here's this interactive, amazing, beautiful document. You can find it justiceforall.com. 4 is spelled out F-O-U-R. And I'm not saying to go report the GoFundMe. I just think it's bogus, in my humble opinion. All right. The court should have helped her with more services than going out and asking people to donate. GoFundMe is a very odd way to collect funding, which is very suspicious. And I mean, that GoFundMe, I can do a whole live on GoFundMes. That stuff is pretty, wow. So let me do this. I want to play a video for you first before we get into all this other stuff, because I think this is really important to watch this before we get into all of it. And this is probably the most, can you guys hear that? I'm going to point out a few key people here. Now, keep in mind, this is the August 16th, 2022 noise complaint. I want you to notice a few things. Are you guys seeing that video and hearing it fine? I just stopped it for a minute. So in this video, I'm going to point out Officer Nate Rosendahl. Adam is pictured in this video, and this is the this is a call on King Street. And let me just show you, let me do Google Maps. So you guys know exactly where this is. You're going to figure it out when they walk in and then the officer comments something. Let me do this. So when you look at this map, okay. I don't even know if these maps are accurate anymore because of the fact that they've scrubbed a lot. They've done a lot to these maps, hidden some key things on campus. I'm not sure why, but they have. 122 King Road in Moscow. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in here and I'll share this map with you so you can see it. All right. Hopefully you can see this map pretty well. So when you zoom in, this is Woolenta, that's Nez Pierce, this is Taylor. So we're going to zoom in over here. This is Queen Road. This is the house that they're going to right here. And hopefully it's 1115 King Road. Can you see the same equivalent of the roof? Nobody's standing on the roof right now. There's a green Volkswagen there, a couple of different trucks here. Hopefully you guys can see that. Do you see that map? This is proof that that is that house that they're walking over to. I just like to show you so that you guys see for yourselves. Okay, so listen to what Rosendahl says and listen to what the guys say. Here we go. That is the same Adam. What did you tell Adam? Okay, hold on one second. Here we go. Please show who Adam is. I'll stop the video and I'll show you, but I do not want to stop this video too often. Hold on.
I'm one of the people.
This gentleman in the black shirt, tan pants, I believe that is Adam. And yes, he was JD Jack DeCour's roommate. Allegedly. Yes, absolutely. Okay. Listen to the, and something I want you guys to realize is I'm trying to break this all down without having to go too long. And you to understand who the key players are. Okay. So let me just show you something of interest that I want you to be able to understand. These annual reports in Moscow, you are so welcome. These annual reports in Moscow show you who the players are. Okay. When you go into these reports, let's go back to 2022. And I love facts. If you go look at Officer Rosendahl, here you go. Officer Rosendahl right here. Right? He grew up in Moscow, where he attended Logos High School and New St. Andrews College. He moved to Bellingham, Washington, and eventually went to work for Bellingham Police Department, where he worked patrol and was a member of the SWAT team. Okay, so now we know a little bit. Oh, shit. Sorry, I didn't share that tab. Duh. Okay, there you are. This is what I'm reading for, just so you guys know. And this is like high level or deep dive 101, so that you can understand who the key players are. Okay, so if I go down a little bit again, it'll tell me that's all it found for that year for Rosendahl. So I'm going to go to 2023, and I'm going to share this new one. Let me just share this. Let me share this. Share screen. All right. Hopefully you can see that. Put that up there. So I went to 2023 and let me type in Rosendahl again. And it says officer, this is here are a few of the citizen comments on what officers did best. Somebody made this comment about Rosendahl. Officer Rosendahl listened. I was afraid I wouldn't be seen as credible, but instead I was validated and cared for. Okay, well, he cares. He was also Rookie of the Year in 2023. Do you guys see that? Hopefully right here, Rookie of the Year 2023. Nate Rosendahl. All right. It kind of gives you an idea of what kind of person he is. Okay. And then he got his basic, it's kind of like BLET, basic training requirements for the state of Idaho to be a police officer. He got certified, and he was certified in February 13th, 2023. But he wasn't certified before. They give like a 6-month probationary period, right, to see how well they're doing. And that was all that was said about him in 2023. But yet in 2023, we see everything about Chief Fry talking about the Idaho 4, right? The unalivings. And I think I've showed that before. So I don't want to, there's 38 results, but that kind of gives you an idea there. Then we go to 2024. And let me see if I can share this one. Yeah. 2024. I got to go back and share this one. And here we go. Can you see that? No. Here's 2024, right? And we go and we search for Rosendahl. Oh, here he is. He was Officer of the Year in 2024, guys. Okay. Officer of the Year in 2024. Service, pride, integrity, compassion. Who does he know in Moscow, Idaho? Because he is like on the hot seat right now, right? I mean, outstanding guy, 2024. Do we see anything else? Oh, he was awarded for internal customer service. Officer Nate Rosendahl. Okay. And that's all you see and hear about him. And I'm bringing this to make a point. Let's watch this video of this call. And let me grab this on the screen again so you can see this. Here we go.
There is a video online that purports to show key details.
Boo boo.
I'm one of the people. You guys were born to noise last night, sounds like. When you guys were having the party.
Adam.
No, you weren't here last night. Last night we didn't do anything. We had Elaine Shepherd that lives here. Who's Elaine Shepherd? The person that was born for the noise last night. Yeah. Okay.
This guy right here, guys. Can you see my mouse pointing? Doesn't this guy look familiar? Only available, not available.
Well, one thing I will tell
his videos in the guys who were holding the K-bars in their little overalls. That, I believe, allegedly is this guy in that picture. Okay. So this is Adam in the background over here.
Please, we didn't do anything last night. No worries. Neighbors are calling
Right here.
in again saying the music's good.
Allegedly.
You guys do turn it down. Sounds good. That being said, the tickets get expensive. We got to come back out here.
Rosendahl.
The music keeps coming up and neighbors keep calling. Understand that. Yeah, we'll definitely turn it down. I mean, you're probably off, maybe like very low volume, but we'll definitely turn it down. Yeah, you can have a party. You can have some music, just not loud enough where people are calling and saying, hey. Sounds good. No worries.
Yeah, we should have. I know we were going to go talk to them before.
Yeah, maybe do a lap with your neighbors.
Yeah, we should do that next
That's
time.
a good idea. Yeah. You live here?
Allegedly, JR Girl 22, that is what they call the treehouse. And the reason they call it the treehouse is, see this garage up here on top? See this guy right here? They have a straight shot of 1122 King Road. So they call it the treehouse, kind of like, it's kind of creepy to me. I mean, honestly, if you think about it, that house right there on the corner, I'm sorry, in the cul-de-sac will give you an idea of kind of what they can see at that high level, right? And I'll show you the map just to refresh your memory. This is the Queen Road on the red dot. And what you see right here is that 11227? No, shoot. Where did I put it? It's King Road. Is that 11227? I thought it was 11. Maybe it is. Why is it not? That's the house. See the angle of the house in the garage? Why is it showing a different house? Okay, there it is. Okay. So, boy, that looks like a different house altogether, doesn't it, from that angle? So when remember, in the time frame, this was probably more lush in, I don't know, it says October 2007. It looks very much different. So just keep in mind, they stand on the top of this roof, right? And you can see the guy perching there. That's why they call it the treehouse.
I'm one of them.
Okay. We're both your name.
My name is Elliot, Elliott. And then Lund, Lundah.
Lundah. Remember that guy's name.
Middle initial?
I have two middle names. PF.
Date of birth for you.
99.
Good phone number I can reach out.
My bad.
What's the area code on that?
Eric.
Okay.
So it's my number is very similar to my mom's, so I confuse it all the time.
Happens to the best.
I have hers memorized.
Happens.
The board.
I think you guys are lucky. The little lady who lived there is gone now.
Oh, really?
I think that's a rental property now.
Okay.
Yeah, we definitely need to check them.
DEB. I apologize.
This is our first time.
Sorry about that.
So
I understand.
DORD.
But you guys obviously know the drill, right?
What's that?
You guys obviously know the drill, right?
yeah, we gotta be smart from now on.
That would be a good idea.
Yeah.
It would be. It definitely would be.
Perfect.
Yeah, did you hear this guy right here? Let's see. He's talking to Nate. He's giving him all the details.
The old lady who lived there is gone now.
Oh, really?
I think that's a rental property now.
Okay.
Yeah,
And you have to listen to what the guy in the background is saying, right? This guy right here, because he gives valuable information that's going to put some pieces together. This guy gives his name in the background. It's very hard to hear.
definitely check them.
DEB. I apologize.
This is our first
Sorry
time.
about that.
So,
I understand.
DORD.
And he spells his name wrong and corrects it.
But you guys obviously know the drill, right?
What's that?
You guys obviously know the drill, right?
yeah, we gotta be smart from now on.
That would be a good idea.
Yeah.
It would be. It definitely would be.
And they're cutting the video, not me.
Perfect. Again, are you guys freshmen or? Oh, we're seniors.
We're seniors.
Okay, so you know the drill. You know how it goes.
Now remember, the date of this very first complaint was 8/16/22. We know who called and complained a couple of times, or at least once in the police department files, and that was Matthew Moyer, because he had to get up early for work at 2:30 in the morning. But think about this. School just started. They're having all these parties, and now they're getting all these complaint calls. And Rosendahl is on the beat this day. This complaint call was for this house, but listen to what happens.
Of course. Since you guys live here, you're responsible for the music.
Okay.
So we have to come back out. What's a noise ticket up to these days?
Oh God, it's like 350.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we don't want to pay that.
That's the first.
We don't want to pay that.
And
Next time, we'll definitely check.
The later at night it gets, the more expensive it gets.
Okay.
So spend the money on beer instead, not on tickets.
Yeah.
Keep the music down. Have a good party. Make sure everyone's over 21.
Yeah.
If we do have to come back out here, you two guys are each getting tickets. Got it?
I understand. That's
So it's
fair.
on the
Fair
right
enough, guys.
side. Make sure the party stays down.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a good one.
Take care, guys. Okay, good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Good semester.
Okay. Now, you know that Nate is still talking to this guy, says a couple words, shakes the guy's hand, but they have cut that out of this video. And I'm showing you for a specific reason. We're still talking about witnesses and we're still talking about victims. This video plays a key part. Let's move it forward.
And in some cases, like when we get here and that stereo's going,
Yeah.
I would also go contact them because it was non-specific.
Sure.
And if I'm warning them, I better go fucking warn them.
True. And that's the bottom road out there?
Which one? Over here? That
Yeah.
one? That one's up on, goes through that driveway. The guy's walking right there.
Oh, yeah.
That side there. Guarantee the stairs are going to come right back on as soon as we leave.
Well, I saw that big, tall JBL on the back patio there, so I'll just go chat with them.
Okay, I'll come with you. You want to walk up or do you want to?
Yeah, we'll walk.
Now he says, while we're here, they hear noise over at the other house. Now, watch when they walk up the hill. I don't know how they could hear the noise, but watch at his prompting. Let's not drive up the hill. Let's walk up the hill.
Just, it wouldn't be fair. You know, if you're warning these guys, you better warn them.
Yeah, good point.
Moscow 11. I'm still on the department channel.
Nate's on the right. The other officer that's unnamed, I don't know who it is on the left. But listen to what he says about the address.
Moscow 111. We're clear of 1127 King Road. We're going to be out at 1122 Queen Road. Same problem.
There it goes. That is the accurate address, which is 1122 Queen Road. The door faces the street. It is not King. I have said that for so long. Now listen to what, and watch Nate, Officer Nate, watch his demeanor, and I want you to watch what happens at the end of this clip.
Hey guys, can you send someone out who lives here, please?
He goes immediately to the back door. There is someone up here in the area living room. That's what they call the living room area where the ping pong table is. There are people walking out. He didn't even go. He's over here on the right side. He doesn't even go for the front door. He goes to the back.
Get any calls ready last night? Because I'm looking for one with the Xander Dash.
Nope. Sorry, you can always call us later and ask in case it gets turned in here. It's our business line.
Sweet, thank you.
You bet.
He goes around to join his partner, and you'll hear the big knock.
No one's coming to the door.
You want to send her up back. You knock at the front door, no one can.
He says, "We knocked at the front door. No one's answering." Did you see any of these officers knock on the front door? Anyone? Did anyone hear them knocking on the front door? I mean, I can go back and rewind it, but they bypassed the door. Exactly. Who is the guy in the backpack? Let's see. I don't think that's Saeed. They didn't knock on the door. I just heard him knock on the back window. There is access to the backyard.
No one's coming to the door.
Walk on the rocks or go down the path. No one's coming to the door.
Yeah, thanks, man.
There's Hunter Johnson, allegedly.
Yeah, I took one look at that speaker. I said,
He's pointing to the couch.
You get a lot of guys trying to argue private property access.
the way I've always done it, and correct me if I'm wrong, it was the way I did it there. Find one responsible, have everyone else hold them accountable. If I got to come back here, they're getting the ticket.
Right, because he's obviously stepped into the backyard, which is private property. He should have stopped at the front door and continued to knock until someone came out and sent somebody in. Hey, we need to speak with whoever's the residents of the house. Who goes to their back freaking door? If there was a fence up, that's private property. There's no fence up. So I think that's how they got around this. And honestly, that is like sus. But let me just go a little bit further and I'll tell you what I see.
Because then it's on them to nip everyone else in the bud.
Yeah, and if they don't,
This screen is already off this window. This screen has been off this back window for some time. So when people say that somebody crawled through the window that night, possibly the screen was already off the window. There's a couple else things that I saw in this, but let's go for the purposes of getting to the end of this to talk about the witness and the victims.
don't come out, we just contact landlords.
Look at his demeanor. He's leaning against there like he's come to hang out. I'm just saying what I see.
Or we come back the next day or the next time you work.
The other officer is far behind, knowing that that's kind of like a, in my humble opinion, like a personal space.
Yeah.
And just note that lack of cooperation does not go a long ways with us.
Yeah.
Look at his demeanor, guys. Is he calling for a date or is he calling for a noise complaint? Because that's not even the house they were dispatched to. Huh. I wonder. Yeah, listen to what they say about there's no back stairs. This is foreshadowing. This guy is not taking no for an answer. Now, I want you to watch how an individual greets him for a noise complaint.
Huh. No stairs to the back deck. Interesting.
No stairs.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Is this your place?
Yeah.
Perfect. You know, over here.
And I assume noise.
Noise, yeah.
Yeah.
Big speaker right there.
Yeah.
Nothing against having a party. Once neighbors start calling in, then we have an issue.
Fair.
You go to school?
Yeah.
Okay. What year?
Senior.
Senior. Okay. So I'll tell you the same thing I told them. You probably know the drill, right?
Actually, no.
Oh, okay. So usually, at least for me, I'll give you a verbal warning.
Okay.
Once I have neighbors calling in, your music's too loud, you're disturbing the peace.
Yeah.
Nothing against having parties, nothing against having people over who are overage to drink.
Mhm.
But again, once we start disturbing the neighbors, then we've got an issue.
Yeah.
Noise ticket is up to $300.
Yeah, somewhere around 300, 400
It's
bucks.
a pretty expensive ticket. I don't want to give that to you. That being said, this is your place, so I'm going to hold you responsible.
They get it more
This is your
expensive
place,
the later
you're
it gets.
also responsible for everybody.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna grab
We already
you.
warned them
Yeah.
too, so
And if I do have to come back here, $300 some dollar tickets.
Okay.
And it only gets more expensive. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fine.
Actually, this is what's the phone number for you? Is this 1122 here?
Yeah.
Okay. I'd much rather you spend that $300 on beer or something fun than
Yeah.
a noise
Yeah.
ticket, right?
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. That being said, warnings, don't do it again.
Yep.
I'd hate to come back in a few hours and then have to issue it. So,
Yeah.
any questions for me?
No.
All right. Have a great rest of your day.
take care.
Now he's continuing to talk to her, but they have cut the audio out. I know the audio is out. Let me just do this real quick. Let me refresh this. Now I'm going to have to go back. So let's see if this is better.
Okay.
Once I have neighbors calling in, your music's too loud. You're disturbing the peace.
Yeah.
Nothing against having parties. Nothing against having people over who are overage to drink.
Mhm.
But again, once we start disturbing the neighbors, then we've got an issue.
Yeah.
Noise ticket is up to $300.
Yeah,
and
somewhere around 300, 400.
Okay, it's a pretty expensive ticket. I don't want to give that to you.
Yeah.
That being said, this is your place, so I'm going to hold you responsible.
Uh-huh.
Because it is your place, you're also responsible for everybody here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to grab your info.
Yeah.
And if I do have to come back here, a $300 some ticket's coming your way.
Okay.
And it only gets more expensive from there. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fair. Absolutely.
Actually, let's just do it this. What's a good phone number for you? Is this 1122 here?
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. I'd much rather you spend that $300 on beer or something fun than
Yeah.
a noise
yeah.
ticket, right?
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. That being said, warnings. Don't do it again.
Yep.
I'd hate to come back in a few hours and then have to issue that. So,
Yeah.
any questions for me?
No.
All right. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
Now that was a different perspective. That was from Rosenthal's video cam. Okay. So when you look at the other one, this perspective, where'd it go? I just had the other video. Dang it. Well, when the other video that we were looking at, it showed you from the other officer's perspective, right? They cut out some audio. Let me see. They cut out some audio where we couldn't see it. All right. So that video is so important for the noise complaints to kind of get an idea of what was going on in the background. Now, there are some key topics that I wanted to talk about really super quick in regards to the victims versus witnesses. So we have Kaylee, you just saw, she was an alleged victim. And why do you say alleged, Phoenix? Well, by the court, she was not recognized as yet a victim. And why is that so important? Well, let's go into the Moscow Police Department and let's see what the Moscow Police Department has to say about this. All right. So we look at the police department and we look at a keyword, and I want you to look at this. There were 97 instances of the word to. And when you go victims, this is important. There's 42, 47. I think it'll search to 50. Okay. I'm going to go down and I'm going to show you. I'm not going to read through the report. I'm going to read you what I found to be very interesting. And I don't know if someone has made a mistake in these reports, but let me find the document real quick again. I didn't label it. I should have wrote it down. There is a report from an officer. Right here. And this kind of blew my mind. This is from Jay Waters. Now, I didn't find anybody in the annual reports with Officer Jay Waters, but this was made on 3/21/24, supplement number 265. And Jay Waters basically says there's 2, 3, 4, 3 different events before his on 11/12/13 and 11/13 again. There's no evidence indicated, but he says on 11/12/22 at 6:53, that's when he arrived, there are 4 RE vehicle videos saved under my name and my badge number right here. These are the videos he's talking about. The video depicts a patrol car transporting 2 Moscow police cadets to the Kibbe Dome. So is everyone aware what the Kibbe Dome is used for with the Moscow Police Department? I hope you guys know, right? So they have a program, and they basically do like a junior cadet program for those who are interested in becoming a policeman in the area. Just so you know, that's some background. I'm not going to get into more detail on that. And it says, sometime later, the vehicle returned to the police department. I do not know who was actually driving the vehicle, but it was not me. That means somebody is using his badge number, his camcorder, and it was not him. Do you guys catch what's going on here? Then, and that was on 11/22 at 6 at night. There are 4RE video under my name and badge number, guys, but that's not me. I don't know who it was. Somebody's using his cop cam. Somebody is making videos. Someone is using a vehicle in his police cam, and it's not him. On the night of the murders at almost 7 o'clock. Now, I do know they do patrols and they have people, cadets in their cars as, you know, citizens patrol. I get that. But I don't know if anybody else caught this. And I haven't seen anyone talk about this. But this is a way for them to do some nefarious things in that police department without anyone knowing. But Jay Waters says there are 3 other videos saved under my name and badge number, but that's not me. Holy moly. So that's the first indication that someone else is using body cams that, yeah, are they perpetrating or stealing identities on badge numbers? That's a little sus, in my humble opinion. Let me get to the best part. On 11/13/22 at 8:51 on the night that they find him, I responded to 11 King Road. So Jay Waters was at 1122 King Road at night. I was asked to maintain a written scene access log. And then it has redacted arrived on scene. Who arrived on scene? They want this redacted that night. I hope you guys are following me. I know the chat is talking about a lot of different stuff, but I hope you're following me. They arrived on scene, okay? I'll give you a real quick break just so you guys can, it could only be another cop that checked out his, yes. Okay, this is where it gets good. 2 of the victims were prepared for transport. Captain Lanier advised he wanted a marked patrol unit to escort blank to the funeral home. Who arrived on scene and allowed them to be escorted to the funeral home with 2 of the victims? Now, where are the other 2 victims? Where are the other 2 victims? They're only going to transport 2 victims to the funeral home? Don't you transport 4 victims? Hello? Officer Morris arrived on scene and relieved me at the door. I handed Officer Morris the scene access log. I escorted blank to the funeral home. I stopped the recording on my BWC while driving at approximately 9:30. Where's the other 2? I reacted my BWC at 21:31 at 9:37. So 7 minutes later, at blank, redacted. I remained at blank as the 2 victims were offloaded. 2 victims were offloaded. I deactivated my BWC at 21:45. I cleared the scene. So what are these videos of the night? What are the videos of these time frames? These videos. But that was not him driving. That was not me. Okay. So now we know that a little bit more. Did they remove them in pairs? Doesn't say. There is no other document that says anything about the victims. Only 2 were transported. 2. And someone showed up on scene. Thank you so much, Patty. Appreciate you so much. That will definitely go to the website. I think we're about $10 off to keeping the website up. And I want to keep it up every month just so we have access to these documents that you can see for yourself. So that was the only one where I saw victims were transported. All right. And if you go through all the other documents, you can read everything you want about victims. Victims in this case. But I want to show you the only report from Rosendahl that I have found. Talks about the dog. We know that one. And then talks about, hold on a minute. Jacob Tesdahl is the only one that wrote a report on Rosendahl. And he was with him that night of the unalivings at 2100. Oh, you guys are so amazing. You are so freaking amazing. Carrie, thank you so much. Carrie, thank you for the super sticker. Dina, you are awesome. We have met our goal to keep this website up next month. It's $44 a month. It's not anything drastic, but it's doable when we have everyone pitching in. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. I couldn't have asked for a better nest. So when you see Officer Rosendahl in these reports, he's only mentioned in, I think 6 times, but 3 times in the same report. And this is obviously when he's on detailed clothes, the patrol car. And you know what he says in this whole document that I got from it? He says he was driving the entire time. That's what he says. Rosendahl. He says he drives the entire time. Am I spelling his name wrong again? He basically says Rosendahl. He basically says he drives the. Oh, Carrie, you guys are blowing me away today. Awesome. So awesome. Thank you for the super sticker. Super sticker. Say that 20 times. So when you look at these documents and you read them and you put them in order and understand them, he says he drove the entire time. And we know that he doesn't drive the entire time because what do we see? Don't we see him out at the Banfield? And this 301 call in the Idaho 4, we see him running around. This is a really good video too. Shout out to them. So the Banfield video, he goes, and I don't know, they take this from JLR, but off. So I just want you guys to know, and I'm sure you've all have seen that video, that he was in that video. He is clearly in plain clothes, as the documents state. He is clearly in the report. I want to see his reports. I want to see what he has to say. I want to see his body cam. I want to see. Yeah, he was harassing the sweater guy. But why, if they were off duty? Okay, so this is the part that doesn't make sense for me, and maybe we can get some clarification. This particular department vehicle did not have a dash cam or any other recording device. My street time conducted the plainclothes detail concluded at 3:52. So they're saying that his watch ended in plain clothes with Jacob Tesdahl and Officer Rosendahl were together that night, and they stopped working at 3:52 a.m. And what happens at 3:51 a.m.? DM has a new contact in her phone. And we know that Dylan was awake and outside at 2 a.m. She was seen by some people running around. We know that she wasn't in her bed asleep. That was a third-party witness. They saw DM awake at 2 a.m. with Bethany and other women, 3 or 4 other women. So this, I mean, if you think about who are the victims and who are the witnesses, who are truly, legally victims and witnesses. Bethany is not even listed as a victim or witness. And what's the possible reasoning for that? Why are they missing from this whole picture? Why are they missing from this equation? And here's some possible reasons to explore. Maybe Bethany and parents chose not to file or filed too late. Maybe there's legal disputes that there could be in a disagreement between the families and the prosecution. Maybe there's a clerical error or delay. Maybe they weren't included in the repository of this case summary I gave you. Maybe there's a silent strategy in Kaylee's parents that they may be pursuing legal documents or legal track, you know, and maybe protection or separation. Could Bethany have requested to keep out of certain parts of the process? Do you believe that that could be true? Now, again, all these are plausible. These are theories and speculation minus the facts and evidence, but the court process doesn't always reflect emotional reality. They don't take emotions into account. This is a legal procedure. There was no impact statement from Bethany. There was, but just via Emily Arndt. She came into the courtroom and read Bethany's victim's impact statement. You can have other people designated to come in and do that. They're probably suing the state of Idaho or the university or individuals. That's possible. But the system versus public perception of a victim versus witness is very important to remember. We expect the legal system to mirror what we know emotionally, and that's just not going to happen. Okay? And that is the conflict I see all over the place. Oh, they're victims, they're witnesses, stop harping on them, start beating them up. Well, we'll go over each of these individual victim statements on my next live. We'll talk about Bethany and we'll talk about Dylan, and we'll talk about what they saw and what they didn't see and how the conflict of both their statements don't add up. If you're a victim, this is the law. This is the law, guys. If you're a victim, you file a victim's form. You can speak if you're legally listed, otherwise you're silent. And Bethany spoke on her statement, and so did SG and AG on behalf of Kaylee's. So why is this case so complicated and frankly heartbreaking? The legal system only works with what's on record. So what did we see go on in the streaming television series? What did we watch? They all were suffering. We all saw that. And that's what I wanted to bring to you today. Here's your call to action. If you found this breakdown valuable, make sure you hit the like and subscribe and even share this live stream. Drop a fire in the chat. drop a fire emoji, and we'll follow up with the victim impact statements one day, but not right now. And I just appreciate you guys being here. I really do. You guys are all amazing. Every single one of you. Patty that donated, Carrie that donated, Carrie again, spelled differently. Dina, thank you, honey. Carrie and Leslie, thank you so much. Until next time, you know what I always say. Phoenix out and be well.
What do you see? Unlocking knowledge for you and me. The nest is rising strong and true. Sharing wisdom, me and you. Clap, clap, clap for the truth we seek. Every answer, week by week.
Yo, microphone check 1 2. This ain't no ordinary stream. From the ashes, Phoenix talks manifesting a dream. Got a growing channel, YouTube's where the wisdom resides. For all the nest members, no truth can ever hide. She's an under detective on the digital beat, questioning the unthinkable, bringing fire to the heat. With a mind so advanced, highly intelligent and bold, part of the hive mind with birdie stories to unfold. Common sense is a superpower, cutting through the noise, unlocking closed minds, amplifying all our voices.
Phoenix, Phoenix, what do you see?